check into the meeting. That way we can know if you're here or not. All right. And then on Zoom, this will also be linked. I don't know if you can scan the QR code through Zoom, but if you can, that's great. All right. Does everyone have that? Perfect. Okay, so today we're going to be going over the PTCAS. We have our guest speaker, Lindsay. Welcome back. A couple of club announcements, and then just going over like what's next for the rest of the semester. And then the link tree, that's for the new member form, but I'm pretty sure everyone's been here before. So that's also at the end as well if we need it again. Okay, so what is the PTCAS? So stands for the Physical Therapist Centralized Application Service. And this is just the application service. It's used by pretty much all PT programs except for 8. And it opens in mid-June for the following year start date. So if you're like me, applying this cycle, this is for a 2026 start date. So if you're thinking about, oh, I don't know if I should apply, but I graduate next year, maybe think about applying. Taking a gap year isn't bad though. All right. So some schools do have a supplemental or like an individualized application on top of the PTCAS. Not that room again, you guys. No, this happens every week.
They party over there?
No, they do. The biggest thing to know of like those 8 schools, San Diego State does not use the PTCAS. They're one of the 8 that uses their own application. They do Cal State Apply. They have their own like interview thing. So if you don't see San Diego State in the PTCAS, that's completely normal. I don't know why they don't use it, but they think they're special. All right, so just to go over a couple of the details of PTCAS, if you go on the website, I just took a couple screenshots just so we can get a overview of what it looks like. They have the deadlines listed for all participating programs. It isn't updated yet because we're still technically in the current application cycle, but it should update mid-April for the following cycle. Most schools are between October to December for, again, the next summer start or potentially a fall start. Again, each school is really very different. We went over that for like our prereqs and stuff. Each school is just so different. So once you have like a kind of list of where you want to apply, just double check all your information on PTCAS as well as the school website itself. Okay. So the PTCAS is kind of a side-by-side comparison. It ranks all of those schools based on prereqs, cost, GRE scores, PT observation requirements, reference requirements, and supplementals. This is all, you can access all this without even making an account through PTCAS. I recommend just making one. You're going to have to use it anyway, probably. Like if you're applying to Long Beach uses PTCAS. So you're more than likely going to have to make an account. But this is all just on the main homepage. I'm just going to go through and show you guys a couple examples. So this is the prereqs. As you can see, there's a whole bunch. Each color is a different prereq. And then beneath that, it shows which school has that prereq and which schools don't. You can, on the website, go through and like click different prereqs. So you're like, I am not taking that second semester bio. I'm not doing it. I don't want to do it. I don't. Just take it. It kind of sucks, but just take it. You can click on the biology too, and it'll disappear. So then it'll show you schools that don't require that. There's a lot of random ones. Like there's a couple schools you can see here that requires like med term or like an ethics course. None of the California schools that I know of require at least like the ethics course, but it's on here because at least one school nationwide has that. So you can kind of play around with this, but just so you're kind of aware. Any questions on this? Okay. Perfect. And then it also ranks cost. Again, this is just a screenshot. You can go through and find various ones, but like Alabama State, I don't know who's applying there, but the total cost for their program is 103, and then it has the out-of-state for 133, and then it goes through it alphabetical order, ranks all of them. So if you're worried about cost, you're like, I want to keep my tuition under 120. Great, scroll through here. Angelo State University, 38,000 for in-state, 79 for out-of-state. Don't know anything about it, but if you're looking for cheap, there you go. We all take the same board exam, right? So
yeah, that's true.
All right. And then the application itself, it's very similar to Cal State Apply, as you can kind of see from the screenshot. When we all applied here, it's very similar. You have the personal information, your academic history, supporting information, and then program materials. It's have your transcripts ready. You're going to have to input every single thing all the way from, if you're me, I took a couple of community college classes in high school. Yep, got to put those in. So just sit down, knock it all out. But yeah, this part is pretty straightforward. And then the other big part of the PTCAS application is the essay. So the essay is required for your application to be submitted. Some schools do have an additional essay, but not all of them do. Like Long Beach, just the PTCAS essay. The prompt has not been announced yet for this upcoming cycle, which I'm kind of mad about, but it's okay. I'd procrastinated anyway. I'm not writing it right now. But the prompts, yeah, it was late April or mid-May each year. So like last year's application prompt says every applicant is unique in their own way, possessing individual qualities, abilities, and backgrounds. What unique traits will you bring to the physical therapy profession that will help you to be successful? This was the second year of this prompt being used. For reference, the PTCAS usually uses a prompt 2 to 3 years. So it could be this one again, or it could be a different one. We'll have to wait and see. And then just another example, so this was the previous prompt before that one. It says every person has a background and identity, interest, or talents which they feel their application would be incomplete without having mentioned. Describe the traits or experiences that make you unique and explain how they help you to be a successful physical therapist. So kind of similar tone. You're going to expect to be asked to talk about yourself, talk about what makes you a good PT and why you want to be a PT. That's kind of what you're going to expect. I have a feeling it's going to be the same as last year, but it might be different. I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see for that. Any questions on the essay or any of the application? It's fairly straightforward, I feel like. Yeah.
What are volunteer hours?
That
I'll get to that.
yeah, she already went through all this, so she's gonna open it up and like walk through a few of the details that I don't have access to. So hold that thought. Yes.
Do you remember what the word count of the essay is?
I will also show you that. If I'm not mistaken, it was a character count actually, and it was 4,500 characters. So for me, that ended up being around 5 short paragraphs. But we'll double check that because that'll also be on there.
Oh, I didn't realize it was so short.
Yeah.
I never just thought about the length. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
Concise.
It is.
Okay. Now we have our guest speaker, Miss Lindsay. Do I have screen sharing on for you?
Let's double check that.
Let's
Do you want to
see.
mute too? Because I think if I turn on my audio, then it'll probably echo.
Oh, yes.
So
Okay, I'm gonna
Before
pass
I-
it over to Miss Lindsay.
hopefully.
This is why I'm not a professor, guys. I can't.
Okay. Wow. So sorry, guys. That's crazy. Okay. Alrighty. So, hi, everyone. I hope you will remember me. I hope it hasn't been too long, but I miss your faces. It's so glad to see you, and I'm so happy to be here. So yeah, like Lily kind of said, I mean, she kind of nailed a lot of my little intro. So what I'm probably going to be doing is just showing you guys PTCAS straight up. We'll look at it together. They're not going to change the format of it in a year, maybe the essay, but everything else will look the same. So I'll show you that. I guess just a little overview. I probably won't do the whole what is PTCAS because I think we got the point of that. So I'll do a little website tour. We'll walk through all of those. I'll tell you a little bit about me, my process of the application and where I'm going now and how that all happened. And then just some extra tips and advice that I want to give because obviously this club has been giving a lot of tips and advice, but this is going to be more specific to the actual application process. So I'll be not going over all that, but it's everything that Lily already said. It's the exact same as the Cal State Apply, the exact same. So if you're comfortable with that, you should be comfortable with this as far as software goes. The 4 main sections of this is going to be the personal information, the academic history, supporting information, and the program details, which again is exactly like the Cal State Apply. So let's go through that. Hopefully, am I still sharing? No. Okay, good. Got it. Got it. It's okay. It's all right. Hopefully. Okay, perfect. Well, you guys know my username is just my name, so no secrets there. Typo, thank God. Okay. Alrighty, so here it is. Like I said, it literally looks the exact same as the Cal State Apply. I even double checked and the Cal State Apply still looks exactly like this. So again, we have our 4 sections here. Personal information, academic history, supporting information, and program details. So I'll start here with the personal information. I'm not gonna like show you guys all of my personal information, but it's like everything that we've done, even with like high school when we were applying to undergrad, like it's everything's just normal. That release statement might be the only thing that's different. That's just letting them know like you're okay with releasing the information to the schools that you're applying to. But everything else is the same. Biographic information, just information about you, your parents, economics, education, all of those factors. I will say this one was the easiest to blow out, and I'm pretty sure I was able to do this even before like the application officially opened. So as soon as I got access to the application and I started doing things, I just busted this out really fast. Don't get me wrong, you still want to take your time, make sure all your information is correct, but you can do this pretty much at any time. I would say maybe even right now. It's just that you can't like turn in the application right now.
Because when I was looking at it, I think I could submit information to here.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, if I'm not telling you guys to do it right now, but if you just wanted to take a look at what the site looked like, get comfortable with it before the actual day happens, then I would absolutely do that. Okay, so moving on to the more aggressive sections, we're going to go into the academic history. You have 3 main sections here: your colleges attended, your transcript entry, and your standardized tests. So I just want to mention, and by the way, mine's going to look ever so slightly different than yours because I already did it all. So rather than it saying reorder, yours will say order. Just little changes like that. And I won't be able to make certain edits because it's already done. But this is what that page looks like. And I know you guys are thinking like, wow, Lindsay, you went to 5 colleges. That's crazy. I just want to make sure that you guys know, like,
I have 6.
okay, yeah. So you need to put like every single college. Like in my situation, I had an interesting situation. Ventura College, Moorpark College, and Oxnard College all fall under one like roof. But I still needed to put in all of the individual ones because I took a class at one and I took a class at the other and one at the other. So I'm pretty sure they even want, not I'm pretty sure, definitely, that if you even dual enrolled in high school and you attended classes at a college, you also need to add those as well. Even if they're already reflected on your Cal State Apply transcript or anywhere, you need to put down every single one. That got people in some trouble in the last application cycle. So just very clear about that. And then with all of these, so all you're gonna do is just put in, let's see if I can do something right now. Oh, okay, well, I don't have to add one, but you're literally just gonna put in the name of the university, when you attended it, and then if you earned any degrees from that program yet. By the time you guys are filling it out, I'm sure you won't be, but you can put in progress and things of that nature. And then it'll expect you to send an official transcript to the PTCAS. I want to reiterate that it's to the PTCAS. So you're not sending it like if I want to go to Long Beach, for example, at this point of the application, we're not sending it to Long Beach. We're sending it to a specific code that PTCAS will provide. I'm going to show us a little example. Here we are, because we all have Parchment here at Long Beach. So you click on Parchment and it gives you all of these instructions. It sends you to Parchment and you select the PTCAS as a service. They have a special code that you put in for that specific school, and then you send it that way. The one thing that sucks about this is that like you have to do it like over and over. So if you have 6, it's going to rack up a little bit in cost. It's only like, I don't know, for me, it ranged from free to like one of them was $6, one of them was $15, which was annoying because racking that up, it does come up quickly. But you will have to do that for this section. Does this all make sense so far? Any questions? Okay, perfect. So that is the colleges section. Now moving on to transcript entry. Guys, this part sucks. I'm not gonna lie, but it's not worse than the essay. So, this is where you take all of those courses that you just announced that you went to, or those colleges that you just now announced that you went to, and you actually hand fill in the transcript. I will preface by saying I'm pretty sure PTCAS, like the site, offers a like autofill type situation where you can send them all of your transcripts and they'll do it for you. It's like 75 or 80 bucks for something that, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. For something that honestly maybe took me an hour max, like, you know what I mean? So I don't know. And I remember when I was going through it, I went through like the Reddit post and I was like, okay, is this worth it? Like, you know, like, is it gonna make sure I have no mistakes, whatever? Everyone was saying it's not worth it. Like, if you just take your time and you do it yourself, then it should be okay. So I'll go ahead and click on, let's click on Long Beach since we all went here and have all the same classes. So pretty much, I'm pretty sure this is similar to the Cal State Apply as well. You literally break down every single class that you took at all of the universities you took. I will say, I don't know, okay, you can't see this right here. I probably watched this video like 6, 7, 8, 9 times. Like, I'm not kidding, even though I knew all the information. It's just really, really helpful because it pretty much answered any question that I had about this section. So I definitely recommend that you watch that as you're doing your filling, but I will summarize all the details really fast. So again, like I said, you'll add in a semester and you'll write down all of those classes that were in that semester. And then the course code needs to be copied exactly how it's seen on the transcript. That needs to be the exact same. The course title can be abbreviated if it makes sense. So like instead of saying general biology, you can put gen bio. They're okay with that. For me, I was just a little nervous, so I copied it letter for letter, word for word. Probably don't have to do that though, but the video does say you can abbreviate it. The subject, they'll have a lot of subjects, but it just needs to be like roughly what it was. It's not going to say like exactly what it is. I remember there was one class that I took that I had to kind of like question like what exactly it was, but they'll figure it out. If they need to make a change, then they'll make that change. That's not a big deal. Credits obviously need to be exactly how it is. And then your grades need to be written how they are on the transcripts as well. It also includes pluses and minuses. So I know, like, I'm pretty sure Long Beach, I think they include pluses and minuses on the transcript, but it doesn't count towards your GPA. Like, it doesn't affect, because certain universities, if you get like a minus, that's like down, that's not 4.0 anymore. So just make sure that you also include those pluses and minuses, because that will translate to this CAS grade, which that gets automatically filled out by the website itself. Any questions so far? Does that make sense? Okay, cool. One thing that I did want to note as well, AP classes. So if you took an AP course, I'm gonna get out of Long Beach because I didn't reflect it on here. You want to put it in the section as well. You want to put the class that it created a college credit for you. And you also want to put it in the same section that you see it on your transcript. So for me, for example, the first university that I went to was Marymount California University, and they had it as the very first class on my transcript there. So I made sure to include it at the very top here. Like I said, I took AP Psych, so I put the class that it would replace it for. And then you put credit on here. And then later on down the line, I'll show you guys as well. There's a way that you can select it so that you let the PTCAS know this was a AP class. Like, it's not just like, oh, I just got credit for this class. Is there anything else I want to say about that? And then, yeah, pretty much just like I said, even though we're manually filling in the transcripts as well, you still need to send the transcripts to make sure that they match. So that's why I really highly recommend that you, like I said, watch that video and you really take your time on this section, because this is where a lot of people get docked. Like, if it doesn't match the transcript exactly, the PTCAS will like flag it and they'll like email you, even though you think you have it all turned in and all. They'll be like, hey, you need to fix this, you need to fix that. Which could delay your verification time for the application. So it's tedious, but I personally would recommend not spending the money and just doing it because it's easy to be done. It's not too complicated. Alrighty, so then that was the transcript section. Finally, the standardized test. This one's pretty straightforward. You're just putting in your GRE score. I think TOEFL is TOEFL, whatever, is an English learning test. So if that's where you need to take that, then you would add that in here. And then I really don't know what the other ones are. IB was kind of like AP back in the day, right? I actually don't even know. So I didn't touch those ones.
If you're graduating from here, I think you're okay. I don't think
Yeah.
you need other of those. I know the TOEFL, TOEFL. That sounds wrong saying TOE, but the TOEFL and then the IB, I think that's for international students. So
Okay.
I think we're good, unless you guys are international students, but I think we're okay there.
And then I noticed that they had this advanced placement test. I'm gonna be so candid with you guys. I didn't love my AP test score. I got a perfect 3 to get like pass. So yeah, I wasn't a good test taker back then. But I didn't want to put that because what's said is done. You know, I got the credit for it. That's all they really need to know. I would just say if you have like an AP course that you got a really good score on that you want to like flex to the school, like that's what the section is for, but I don't think it's 100% necessary. If you put it on the transcript section showing that you got the credit for it, then you don't need to report it to the school. And then I can't show you what it looks like now, but for that GRE, literally all it is just letting them know the date that you took the test and then your scores. And they just have to make sure that they match the scores that you also send the PTCAS, which is another note that I want to make. You will have to send the GRE scores to the schools individually, but you also have to send it to the specific PTCAS codes. So for example, when you go and take the test, it will say like, do you want to send it to CSU Long Beach, or do you want to send it to CSU Long Beach PTCAS? Like, there's a specific code that they receive. So make sure that you send it to that code. If you don't, it's not the biggest deal in the world because you can send it later. It's just going to be extra money. I made that error. I had spent a lot of money on the GRE sending scores because that was not very clear to me. But does that all make sense? The academic section, any questions? No? Okay, cool. Oh.
I see it.
Just making sure we are required to submit all official transcripts for applications with. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you will have to submit like any college course that you ever took ever in your life, you will have to submit those into the PTCAS, into the college's attended section, and then also when you're filling in the transcript section. Perfect. Okay. So now on to, oh, and then I also wanted to add just really quickly, because like I said, I was kind of able to start working on the personal section and the academic section before I did this, but once applications do in fact open, which kind of like Lily said, certain schools have different times, this is where you'll add the programs. You just search in the school that you want. It just gives you this little bit of information about it, and then it'll give you these little plus signs where you can add it in. Don't freak out if you don't see the school. That either means that they don't have a PTCAS and you can see the one of 8 schools that don't, or it just means that they haven't opened their application yet. So like Lily said, it's mid-June. Certain schools really take that seriously and do it like on June 15th. Others kind of just like wait. Maybe they're like fixing. I don't know why it takes them longer, but just give it a few days. Make sure obviously you have all of your added programs though, like after I would say July, August, because everything should be out by then. Okay, and then the supporting information section, this is going to answer your question with the observation hours. So this is how we turn those in. This is, like I said, observation hours, experiences, achievements, licenses and certifications, and the essay. Oh, the worst part. Okay, so this is what this part of the site looks like. You're going to submit every single observation hour that you have. And when I do say observation hours, I'm like 99% sure, correct me if I'm wrong, it has to be under a licensed PT.
Correct.
Not like maybe some schools allow a PTA, none of them do. No, I figure none of them do.
PTCAS says licensed DPT.
Okay, so yeah, so as much as if you like were a scribe at a hospital, like as much as that would be great, it's not going to fit in this observation hour section. This is solely specifically for your under a licensed DPT hours.
There is another section, which I'm sure you'll get into,
Yes.
for things like that are like supplemental, but the observation hour specifically has to be under a DPT.
Yes,
So just
exactly.
keep that in mind.
So I'll click on one of these and show you guys what it looks like. Honestly, the way that they do it, excuse me, is really like I liked it a lot. So you've put in the facility's name, the address, all of that good stuff, your experience date, start to end date. Even if you worked there for like years and maybe you're in and out like every other summer, I still made sure that I did like the day that I started and then the day that I ended. You let them know if it was paid, volunteer, or both. Experience type, I would definitely just put all of your in-person ones at this point. I think they like provided this during COVID when it was like literally impossible to do any
No longer
in-person.
counts anymore.
But I would
in-person.
just make sure you only report the in-person. Oh, not only. If you have hybrid hours, you can report them, but don't like depend on those to get you past the hours. And then similar situation, role of the person shadow. I think that this is kind of like a trick, like make sure that all of them are under a PT for those at least the minimum hours. If you have again extra, then great. But if not, and I would even say too, like there was a clinic that I volunteered at that I really only chased around like the aides. Like
Okay.
I really wasn't like on a physical therapist all the time, but there is a physical therapist that are still signing off on those hours. So just make sure that you put under a PT every time.
That's what matters, just getting a signature.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Obviously get the experience for
Oh,
yourself
yeah,
too,
yeah.
but like, yes. Okay, and then this is how you determine, you let them know what kind of hours you were doing. I would say, excuse me, my voice sounds awful, that you want to get certain hours, like we've kind of been saying like all year, and not every single one of these sections, but in this section, and this section, and then maybe even in this one. This is the inpatient. So you fill that out however you see fit. I'll let you know when I filled these out, I only put like a number in like one of these columns because it wasn't like it was like a changing situation. But I did try to make sure that I put something in each of these. I'm pretty sure I put one here for different locations, obviously. And then I also put this one when I attended PT sessions as a patient because I don't know. You don't have to, I'm sure, and it's not going to count towards your hours, but it shows them that like you've been there before. Like, you know what I mean? You like done it. If that's something that you can experience, you can even say you attended PT session with a family member. Like that'll still show. And then this is the part that I like really appreciated them for. So you can check off all or any of them that apply. And specifically, I want us to pay attention to the fact that it says patient diagnoses / patients observed. That doesn't mean that like, oh, my clinic was a sports specialty, so I'm only going to put sports, right? Like I went to a sports specialty clinic, but I saw general orthopedic, obviously. I saw neurologic patients. I saw geriatric patients, peds patients. So you can put down everything that you like witnessed at that center.
Even if it's just one patient.
Like even if it's just one
Even if it's
patient,
just-
like they're not gonna know. Like, and if they like, they're not going to know. I mean, don't lie, okay?
Like, obviously, not if you're at some general orthopedic, don't put aquatics. Okay,
right.
obviously that doesn't work, but most like at my ortho, we had someone who came in who was a cardiopulm. I don't know why they were there. They weren't supposed to be, but we saw them for like a good 2 months.
Yeah.
Yes.
They like special needs.
You could probably put other, let's see, like if you put other, then definitely if they're pediatrics, then for sure. But I wonder, oh no, it just says Special Olympics volunteer.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I would just put other for that one because I definitely think that is a standalone category, and then maybe like include that on your essay, like somewhere where you can like specifically tell them this is what I did.
Yeah, definitely use that in an essay.
Yeah. So make sure you take advantage of that for sure. Like I feel like I definitely saw people that were just like, oh, it was just an orthopedic clinic, so I'm just gonna do orthopedic. And I was like, well, did you like treat someone that was over 65? Yes, okay, that's geriatrics. Like I would definitely utilize that. And then like I said, like they're not gonna know, like just don't take that again, like that, don't lie, because your PT does have to sign off on it. And if they like know that you did not see anything, then they might be like, maybe not, but I have a feeling they won't because they've been here before. So this is how you go about sending it to your PT. I would recommend doing this first one, send my PT observations to a PTA or PT, should be PT, but because PTCAS will send it and then they'll immediately just like press a check button and then it's like that easy. I had one clinic that utilized their own paper, but I didn't even upload it because I emailed the PT that day and I was just like, hey, like, can you check this off for me? And he immediately did. I'm pretty sure that's really all they're looking for. And then definitely don't put, I will not have my PT observation hours
Get your
verified
hours verified, people. Get them
because
verified.
then they will get nullified literally immediately. So, then when you click on that, it's just all of their information. It'll just send it right to them. And then I just also recommend, I'm sure you guys know this, like make sure you're staying in touch with this PT like prior and after. Like I don't want this to be the first and last email that they receive. Like you're definitely want to email them, say, hey, like I'm filling out my application right now. Make sure you expect this email. And then after you send this little situation, then double check with them. Hey, just making sure, like, did you see it? Like, are you able to fill it out? People are very like kind and they'll be open to responding. And they, like I said, they've been here before, so they know what it's like, and it makes it easier for them to not get caught in the junk.
Also, if you're like observing under a PT who like wouldn't be willing to do this, try and find another PT.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
most PTs that at least I've witnessed, they're great, like they're willing to help 100%. But I know there's probably that oddball is gonna be like, no. So just that's probably not a problem, but if in that case, most clinics have additional PT, so maybe just talk to multiple people while you're there. Just
Definitely.
have backups.
I agree. It is as easy as a check, so hopefully, like, if they're that much of a hard ass, like, God. But hopefully they won't be, and like I said, it's just as easy as saying, yes, I agree, or signing something. But, alrighty. Or did your answers get question? Did your answers get question? Did your question get answered?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think like job hours are better than volunteer hours, like the same.
No, they're the same. They're literally the same. They don't care either way. If anything, maybe volunteer, they're like, you know, good for you that you're doing it without like money. But no, they're equivalent for them.
Yeah.
Because there are multiple PTs at a clinic, you list them all, or do you just put like the person who owns the clinic?
Whoever is just willing to check it off the fastest. Yeah. I mean, it maybe I would say if the person that owns the clinic, like I think I know who you're talking about, he's a very big guy, like they would like to see that name on there. Like, you know what I mean? So I would do that personally, but it does not matter. Literally just a process just to make sure you're not lying about it.
It probably would make the most sense, at least this is how I'm planning on doing it. If someone from that clinic is writing your letter of recommendation, you can also be like, oh, by the way, I'm gonna have you verify my hours.
Yeah.
That's just, you just have more contact with that person, you can follow up with them. I know one of my old bosses, people who have applied before, he would take forever. He was just a forget guy, and he would forget to look at the email. So go with the other ones,
Yeah. Good. Okay, perfect. Alrighty, and then that moves us into the experience section. So this is, like I said, it's going to cover everything that won't be covered by a non-licensed PT. And when I say anything, like I mean really anything, guys. Like, okay, maybe not anything, but like something that will like do with PT, even if that's just like a customer service job that you really were like in and passionate about, you can add anything on here. Because this isn't part of like the minimum of 200 hours or whatever that the school says. This is just having them get to know who you are as a person. So like I said, club involvement, I put my club involvement on here. Even just saying that you're a member of this club, I think will go a long way. Any kind of jobs, like I said, that you had that kind like, I wouldn't say like, well, I don't know, if you worked at McDonald's and were passionate about it, like, sure, like it's a service. Don't put experiences in the observation hours, if that makes sense, if you really wanted to, because the experiences won't count towards the observation hours unless you have a PT that signs off, but the other one could go in. I made sure to keep mine separate, but that's what the experiences section is for. And then moving on to achievements, same thing, very straightforward. Guys, like, don't count yourself out. Like, you guys have achieved so many things. I would put it down. I put Dean's List down. Like, I didn't even remember receiving that email, but I was just like, ooh, yay, like, let me put that down. Like, just don't count yourself out. Like, don't count yourself short. Even if this is like an honor that you received at like another club, like anything like that, I would put it down in here. Personally, I would probably stick to college achievements, unless I'll say like if it was like a grandiose, just like amazing high school experience, it's like a once in a lifetime, like wow, so amazing, then they'll know what it is. Then maybe you can put that there. But I would probably save these achievements for college, but just try to like dig up anything that you could find. Like I'm sure some of you guys have been on the dean's list here. I'm sure certain things of that nature. So just add them in. If you think that they're like not going to work, then whatever, then they're just not going to work. But there's not really much that you have to say about it. You just say like, this is what it was. And then when you earned it, like you don't really don't even have to talk that much about it. So, and just give a brief description about what it is, and then they'll take your word for it. Licenses and certifications, same thing. Like if you're CPR certified, if you're strength and conditioning certified, personal training, like I was going to put down that I got certified in an Excel workshop. I found out that it expired, so I couldn't put it down anymore. But like, I was literally going to put down anything I could. Just like I said, you will have to put down when it's valid until. So that's what like deterred me from doing it. But like anything that would fit for this section, I would put it down, because at this point, like, as much as it can be uncomfortable to brag about yourself, like that's what this application is for, right? We want to let them know exactly who you are and why you are supposed to go to that school. And the code I was talking about, that you'll want to use that when you're submitting your scores. Just gives you general information. The questions are usually always just about if you're a reapplicant. On CSUNs, it was such a random question. It was like, have you been like a collegiate athlete? And you just say yes or no. Like, they just ask random questions, but nothing to like another essay or something that's like really prompting like the thorough response. And then this is where you put in your references as well. You just add in request a PTCAS reference, you put in their name, their email, and that's pretty much it, their title. This section will also provide you with exactly who they want for those references. I'm pretty sure you put that down as well, like this is a PT reference, this is a professor, so on and so forth. And then similarly with the observation hours, make sure that you're like on these people. Like I would definitely give them a hard deadline that's like before the deadline of the PTCAS, just so that you don't have to stress about if they're going to get it in on time. And just, I didn't have to stay on anyone pretty bad. I mean, you guys see like they turned it in pretty quickly after I asked. But I would just make sure like, yeah, you're keeping in touch with them so that they don't forget about you. Start making those connections now for sure, like we've always said. And then one other thing that I want to add too, I heard this from CSUN's admissions when I was first applying. Even though it says 5 allowed, please only listen to what they ask. If they're asking for 3, only give them 3. Don't be like, oh, I can add a 4th just to make myself look good. Apparently, according, like I said, to CSUN admissions, that's like, no. Like, just listen to our directions and follow the goals, I guess.
I will say Long Beach, I was just at their DPT info session and they said if you think you have a really like banging fourth one, put it
Okay.
in. So it really depends school to school. Just make sure you have your required. If it says 5, there's not one school that I've looked at that said I require 5. So maybe don't submit 5.
Yeah.
Yes.
These are other
Yeah.
references.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Letters of record references, that's same thing.
So, like we've mentioned in the past, just it's typically a professor, a PT, and then an other. I had mine as a boss that I had. Sometimes some people recommend 2 professors, 1 PT, so on and so forth. So just follow their
A
directions.
lot of schools are saying an employer as that third one, and I know not to reference the DPT thing here again, but he had said that they really like it coming from an employer who he was like, even if it's coming back to McDonald's, even if it was someone who worked under at McDonald's, like that is someone who can give a perspective of you in a business setting, not necessarily a physical therapy setting, because that means are you employable? Are you someone who can add that statistic after you graduate our DPT? That's kind of what they were saying there. So just read what the school's asking for.
Guys, they're party.
Yeah.
I feel like the floor is about to fall. Like my goodness. Okay, and then this section is what I was referencing to before about the transcripts. This is where you like put in and make sure that all of those classes that you inputted in that transcript section end up on their prerequisite list. So again, mine looks a little different now and I can't really edit things now, but all of these will pop up as all of the prerequisites for the programs that you guys are applying to. And then you just go through, click this little edit button, and then you go through all of like the transcripts that you inputted and you select each of them that fit this category. When I was talking about the AP credit, this is where you also put like, oh, this is an AP class, like this, like that's how you denote those 2 things, just so that again, you're not like just saying, oh, I got credit for this course. Make sure that you keep in mind too that certain programs do not accept AP credits and certain do. What I've seen is that most of them only accept 1 if you have to. I wouldn't go, obviously I don't go over that
The
one.
only thing that I've seen with AP stuff is someone did say, I forget which program it was, but one of the state schools around here did say they took the AP credit, but it counted as a C on the transcript because they wanted to see the college level. So if you took AP bio, it counted as a C. So definitely go retake bio.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I panicked when I did mine because I did have general psych and certain schools require like 3 psych classes, like something insane. And I was like, oh my God, like I have kin psych and I have abnormal, but I didn't have that third. So I just retook general psych at a community college. It took like 3 weeks and it was very, very easy because I was panicking about that. But because certain schools I'm pretty sure like don't accept it and certain schools do. So I was just being extra cautious, but I think I would have been okay without it. But that is that section. I don't think any of these schools have anything different. Yeah, just like I said, the questions are very much just like, are you coming, like, are you reapplying? Like I said, were you a member of a collegiate sports team? I was taken aback by that, but I guess it makes sense. But yeah, so that is pretty much the application. When you're all said and done, after you've got it all talked about with others and you're very confident, which I don't know if you'll ever reach that day. I didn't. I like almost cried when I pressed submit because I was like, oh my God, I did something wrong. Like I had to have done something wrong. But when you're ready to submit, you will come to this page and this is where like it'll show you if everything is collected, if they have all of the
Yes. Yes, she did.
oh yes, sorry, yes, I'm gonna get thank you yeah, so sorry, I didn't see that. I saw it on yours but didn't pop up on mine. So yeah, this will show you if like all of it is completed, if they received all of your transcripts and all of that, your letters of reference, all of that. And then I think I wrote it down. It's gonna be very expensive, guys. It's so annoying. Like it's actually so rude because we're gonna be spending so much money on tuition. But on these 3 applications alone, I spent $310. It's 100. Yeah, isn't that insane?
That's so foul.
It's 165 for the first submission and then 65 for each additional submission.
There
it
is
was
a
awful.
discount actually.
There is a discount. You have to qualify for
Yeah.
it though. So I didn't, so I don't know exactly what that process looks like, but they do have fee waivers. I'm pretty sure you can figure that out in this little question mark situation. I was gonna recommend that we use this all the time anyways, but yes, there are fee waivers that you can
If you
apply for.
demonstrate financial, from what I've seen on Reddit, so this is not like exactly factual, but from what I've seen, you have to demonstrate financial needs. So if you got got the full FAFSA in your undergrad, you're more than likely gonna get the fee waiver. So, but worst case scenario, I think you can just apply for it. You just get denied.
Yeah, true.
So
True. Yeah, I guess I should have tried that, but
that's okay.
yeah, so that is that. And then this check status, once you submit your application, like I was on this every single day, guys. Like it's actually not healthy probably, but this is again how you double check and see that everything was accepted and everything went through clean. I pretty sure I got all of these little green things even before I press submit, so it just really shows like, okay, I did that. Like, okay, cool. And then want to talk about this little part for a brief moment. So when you press submit on the PTCAS, that just means you submitted it, and it'll turn in, or it'll write right here in like an orangey yellow, like we received your application. This is why I really want to press do not procrastinate and turn this in the day before it's due, because it's not going to be officially submitted. Like the schools aren't going to officially receive it until PTCAS has verified it. And what I mean by that is that they're going to take your transcripts that you inputted and your official transcripts, and they're going to compare the two side by side, make sure that there was no mistakes. They're going to make sure that all of your observation hours check out, references check out, all of the above. So make sure that you guys submit it before the last day. I will say I submitted it, I want to say like a week before CSUNS was due, which was in September, at the end of September. And I didn't know this. So I was like, oh my God, like what if they don't verify in time? I got it in within, or they verified it within 24 hours. So that was like a big relief. But I do want to make a note that that's not like the last day of the PTCAS. Like certain schools have like a November 1st due date. And what I read, again on Reddit, is that if a lot of people are turning them in, then the line to get that verified will be long. So there'll be more of a wait time in order to do it. And like it is human nature for a lot of us to procrastinate. So just assume that you're going to have to wait like 7 business days or something crazy so that you know that you'll get it in and verified and all of that before that final due date, because you don't want to be in that position where you know you turned it in on time and everything's good, but they didn't verify it in time, because that's like kind of out of your hands, but it kind of is, because you could have turned it in sooner. And then if it comes back and they like flagged any mistakes, like you want to make sure that you fix those on time as well. But yes, like I said, this final page will be your best friend, and that is pretty much all of the specific PTCAS. Does anyone have any questions before I exit out of it? Do we feel a little bit better like looking at it now and seeing what it looks like, know what to expect? Okay, cool. Awesome.
It is almost 7. But
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, then I will just I won't show my PowerPoint because it's not that crazy. Yes, quick question. I was gonna get into that. So, yeah, it's not gonna come through the PTCAS. What they're gonna do is they'll email you. So, yeah, you guys know enough about the different schools. I won't really break down why I chose where to go. But like you guys saw, I applied to Long Beach, Northridge, SDSU, and Mount St. Mary's, and they'll just email you. So like once you send in the PTCAS, you'll receive an email not only from PTCAS that says like, oh, like we've received your application, congratulations, whatnot. Within the next week or so, you should also receive emails from those universities saying that we also received your application. So you double check those. Every single time I got one of those emails, I literally, my heart dropped. But
sorry to interrupt you. If it is almost 7, I know it got late really fast. If you have to go, please go. But yeah, just want to throw that out there.
but yeah, I'm so close to being done. But yeah, so you'll receive those
You're good.
emails.
That was for you. You're good.
So yeah, I guess I can show it if you guys do have time really fast. I did like a little what my experience looked like, my timeline looked like. Okay. Cool.
This is smooth. We've got this down now.
Yeah, wow, seriously.
I hadn't time for it to be.
I know. Okay, so yeah, so I took my GRE in June. I would also recommend do it a little bit before that, because when I saw my score and I didn't like it, I had to take it again, and you have to wait 21 days before you can take it. So I did that. PTCAS opened around mid-June. I started working on that. I submitted my PTCAS on September 24th, and then my PTCAS was verified the next day, which is great. Like Lily said, you might have to submit Cal State Applies. It won't be as extensive, and they'll give you instructions at what you need and what you don't need. That was for CSULB and SDSU. And then for CSUN specifically, you have to do an interview if you get past the first part of the acceptance process. So I received that invitation on November 8th, and then I did it probably like a week later. And then I received emails from the schools directly. I received my first one from Mount St. Mary's in December, which was pretty quick. I was really happy to see that. And then I received my acceptance from CSUN in late December. And then I received my acceptances from Long Beach and SDSU in mid-January. So I will say
A note for Long Beach specifically, they did say they will not send it out before January 15th.
They
They
won't,
will send
yes.
it on January 15th. So
Yes.
that lines up with that exactly.
Yes, exactly. And I don't think they would wait either. I think you'll know, like either if you
That's
got
what they said.
waitlisted or not. So yes, I completely agree. CSUN again, I felt like that was soon, so I was like very surprised. But I wouldn't freak out until like February, mid-February. If you haven't seen anything yet, then it's not that you didn't get accepted. I would like check in with someone and be like, hey, like, what's going on? But yes, so you'll receive those straight from the university. And then I have all these tips, but I think I said pretty much all of it. I guess one thing that I recommend is I would personally purchase official transcripts to send to yourself so that when you're filling in those transcripts, it looks the exact same. Because sometimes I know that certain universities, the unofficial transcript looks a little bit different, has a different order of operations. So I would send those to yourself. It's just like a one-time thing. I feel like it was worth the money. And then I've pretty much said everything else. Yeah, just stay in communication with all of your recommenders. Have people from many different perspectives review the essays. Really, really take your time on this because you don't want to make any errors, of course, but also get it done sooner than later so that you don't have that stress. But other than that, you guys got this. I hope this kind of helped to ease the stress of it all. Does anyone have any last minute questions? Yes.
Maybe you're planning to graduate in fall semester when
So you want to start in the fall semester?
you would.
Okay. Well, I feel like when's your goal of going to PT school? Like, do you want to go like? Okay, so you will just put like you have a lot of things under like in progress. So you would do it like this next cycle if you have the chance or whenever that time is. You apply in June for the following year. So like I said in this situation, let's say that you wanted to start fall of 2026, it would be you're gonna apply this upcoming cycle. You will say that you'll just have things in progress. And what they'll do, like I don't know if you noticed on my site, there's a lot of like update my application buttons. You might have to do things like that. But you should be fine, like as long as they know that you have those classes. I would just recommend that you don't have a bunch of prerequisites still in progress. You want to have no more than 2, I believe a lot of
Most
schools
schools
say.
say 2, but honestly, just keep it as minimum as you can. Try to
Yeah.
get them done as soon as you can.
But yeah, so you can absolutely do that so long as they know that you're on track to graduate by the time that school starts. Yes.
You got it to all 4 schools.
I did. Yes, I did. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it felt really, really nice. Yeah, like I said, I just feel like in my essay, I really like laid my, not heart on the line, but I really just let them know exactly who I was and was very candid about the person I was. And yeah, so
Grades didn't
thank
hurt.
you. Yeah,
Grades didn't
yeah.
Just so you guys know, Lindsay will be coming back as a guest speaker, so we can ask her all about like
The more personal
personal stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'll be here for a bit if you want. I'll tell you now. But like, yeah, we're
but
gonna do a
just
little senior
for
panel.
people on the Zoom and everything, we're gonna be bringing a senior panel to ask all those questions before, and that'll be in late-ish April, so before we apply. So we'll have all of our questions answered.
I think we're gonna have other alumni there too. So
Yeah.
you can get like a bunch of different perspectives. But yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Hours yet until.
Oh, this is a good question because I did not have a lot. I had like 220, give or take. Like I did not have a lot. The difference is though that I think made me stand out is that I had a lot. I had 4 different locations and they all like I pretty much checked off all those boxes that I showed you guys. So that's why we like really drive that point home. Like it is more about the the diversity of it than it is about the total number of it.
Especially because a lot of us started school when we were in COVID. Like
Mhm.
it's just hard. But that's why it's literally every meeting. I think you in the fall you heard us saying, and then this semester
Yeah.
me saying different specialties, different
To
specialties.
even make you guys feel better too, I did inpatient for 12 hours. I did it twice and I said, okay, I got what I needed to get out of this. Thank you so much. Well, maybe I'm okay. I'm open to everything. Like maybe PT schools changed my mind, but the guy that I was working with was very chill. Like it wasn't like a hire you in this. And I was just like, okay, thanks. And he was honestly, I think he didn't want to teach me much anyway. So like I wouldn't be too stressed about having, like I said, like, oh my God, I need 100 hours here, I need 100 hours there. But if you do, then
Unless
it's
your
great.
application does say specifically you need, a lot of them are starting to implement it again, especially for this upcoming cycle, 20 hours inpatient, at least 20 hours outpatient or whatever those combination is. So again, check your school's website
Yes.
and get those minimums at least.
Yes.
Okay, if nobody has any questions for her, I'm gonna bring ours. Oh, I need to scare my screen. Hang on, stop. I forget you guys can see that, but the Zoom cannot.
I'll be here if you have questions too. So
Yes. Okay, just some upcoming stuff for the club. Next Wednesday at 5 p.m. It's gonna be in here again. Hopefully that club isn't meeting. We're gonna have the University of St. Augustine, their senior university representative. They're gonna come and tell us all about USA's program. They do have a couple different campuses. It's a great private option. I don't know much about it to be honest, but I know it's a cheaper option of the privates. A lot of people apply to it. I think their cohort is like 100 people, so it's definitely it's a good option. I'm not gonna say backup, I'm not gonna say main. It's just a good option to have. So anyway, they're gonna come speak to us. I don't know much about the program, so it'll be interesting. If you can make it, great. If not, there won't be a Zoom for this one. So my people on Zoom, if you can make it in person, that would be great. And then our next general meeting won't be until April 10th. So it's the week after spring break. I know midterms and stuff, people are going to be out of town and all that stuff. We're going to have Dr. Erin O'Mahony. I think that's how you say it. She is a hippotherapist, so she does physical therapy with horses. So it'll be super cool to see a specialty, talk to her and all that stuff. The room will be TBD. It might end up moving to Zoom because she is LA based, so I'll just keep you guys updated with that. The plan is April 10th though. Make sure you're signed up for the email, the Instagram. We'll post if there's any update on that. As always, a couple volunteer opportunities. Here are a couple local hospitals, Long Beach Memorial, and then PIH Health, located in Whittier and Downey, so kind of centrally all over. If you want more information, we can send you the application process. And then a few that I know are always looking for volunteers is Select Physical Therapy and the Peak Orthopedic Physical Therapy. Cypress, Cerritos, Redondo Beach, Palos Verdes, Torrance. So trying to get you guys locations wherever. If you have any questions specifically with volunteer opportunities, yes.
Recently the VA opened up their volunteer application again.
Oh, perfect. I didn't know that. Awesome. Yeah, no, I remember when I was trying to get inpatient about a year ago, I was looking like once a week to see when they would open it, and they just had it closed. So that's good to know. People on.
oh,
Volunteer.
Interesting. The more you know.
Mhm.
But hey, VA is considered, well,
it's
you could,
still opportunity.
it's a good opportunity. It's a different population that you would see. So that's still good to know. I'll probably send a story out about that. And then probably the big club announcement is we are opening up board positions next semester. A few of us are graduating. So go ahead and email me and CC the club email if you are interested. Like we said on the PTCAS application, putting in that you're a member of a club is great. If you can put in that you're a board member, it looks a little bit better being in those leadership positions. So if you're interested, go ahead and email. I will have a formal application up soon, probably like just so you guys know, my goal is by like spring break having that out there so that we can get that ball rolling through April. But if you're interested, just go ahead and send me an email. That way I know what to do there. I'll wait. Okay. And then as always, go ahead and contact us. We didn't have any stragglers today, so please make sure you check in for that meeting. And yeah, if you have any other questions, you guys all know how to contact us. So with that said, hopefully I see you guys next Wednesday for the St. Augustine meeting. If not, I will see you guys after spring break. Good luck on or not finals, I wish.
That's right. I wish that for
If you didn't know, I'm graduating and I wish that it already happened. So good luck on midterms. And as always, we're here if you need us. So anyway, have a good night, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.